All right, now welcome to the TasteMakers Lounge here at the Nelson Manor, where we have in-depth conversations with fascinating artists, musicians, innovative experts who inspire and curate the current trends here in the DMV and beyond. I am your host, Yolanda Nelson, co-owner operator of the Nelson Manor. And today we have an absolutely special guest who is our first guest here at the Tastemakers Lounge. And we are so happy to have him. That We are blessed to have the Grammy Award winning, Stellar Award winning, even the NAACP Award recognized. We have Byron Cage, the Prince of Praise, in the house today. Yes,
Hey,
welcome to the
my
Tastemakers
sister,
Lounge.
my sister.
I love you.
Listen, that's too many awards. That's
Oh,
too much
but
accolades.
but let me tell you something.
I'm something in a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Very, very worthwhile and to be recognized for the life that you've curated, the people that you've inspired. You have such a repertoire and a great history here, which is why we have you here at the Tastemakers Lounge today,
Yeah.
because we know that your life is full of one that is blessed. You're an inspiration to so many, especially those coming up in the gospel industry. And so that's the reason why we have you here
Wow.
at the Tastemakers Lounge. So we are blessed to
Honored.
have you.
Listen, I'm so honored to be here. Of course, I am just so grateful that God has allowed me to do music full time for over 30 years. I haven't worked in corporate America in like 35 years. It's just been music. You know what I'm saying? And so it's been an amazing journey. I've performed with some of the greatest people in the world. The biggest person probably was Michael Jackson for the opening of the
That's awesome.
Atlantis Hotel. I was looking at that video today of the opening. He did "We Are Heal the World, Make It a Better Place." He did that, and I was hired by BB Winans to put together the whole musical portion of which Michael Jackson performed, Whitney Houston, so many other one, Natalie Cole, Quincy Jones. I sat there next to Quincy Jones, and they said, "Brian, you're not going to say nothing." I said, "There's nothing for me to say. I'm all ears." And back
That's
then
great.
that was, oh gosh, 25 years ago. I was like in my 30s.
So you were leaning in
I was
and
gleaning.
gleaning.
Exactly right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have nothing to say.
That's right. Sitting amongst
Oh
all
yeah.
those greats. And look at how they all have just input and touched your life.
Yes.
First, you're talking about the production aspect of it, which that is just your wheelhouse. I understand you are the minister of music at Ebenezer, or
Well, I was there as the
yes,
senior minister of music and worship. Ricky Dillard is there now
yes.
as there. Yeah, I
Okay.
direct the one of the most fascinating male choruses anywhere, and they're called the Kingsmen of Ebenezer Indie Church.
See, and
A
this.
lot of them are going to be here today. So
Yes, we're honored to have them here. We are, and why are we here today? We're celebrating you.
woo,
Happy birthday.
thank you. 61. Can you believe it?
61. God bless.
61.
God bless. Oh
Somebody
my
said back
goodness.
don't crack. I said, well, I'm cracking in some places. I'm cracking.
That's wisdom everywhere. That's
Right,
what it
right,
is. That's
right.
all that thinking.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
So what attributed to you becoming you, that thing in you that what created you? What are the steps? Who inspired you initially to take that first step to music?
It really was my mom, actually. She said that I did not cry as a baby. She said, so she told my dad that I think he's going to be a singer. So, in school, I played the saxophone first when I was in the seventh grade. I played the very saxophone, which was taller than me. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And
Yes.
I went from
So
there.
the floor length, right?
Yes, the really large.
Yes.
And then I went from there to the alto sax, and I cut the inside of my lip
Hmm.
because I couldn't bite down on the mouthpiece. So my mom said, but she said, well, we'll see about this. She heard me playing the piano, and she said, I think you got a touch for the piano, son. So
Thank you.
she took that horn, that saxophone, and sold it, and bought me an Acrosonic upright piano, and the rest is history. Mother cultivated before
Mom.
anybody. And then I was lucky to grow up in Detroit. Even in
Yeah.
Grand Rapids,
Great
when
Rapids.
I started there, and that's where we went to the same church as the group DeBarge.
Yes.
Yeah, Tommy, Al,
Wow. So you
those.
knew all of them
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. We all hung out together. We were
Fascinating.
kids. We were kids. And then we moved to Detroit, and that's what really began to hone my skills into being very focused, be ready, because I used to sing background for a gentleman by the name of Thomas Whitfield. And then at my church, that I went to Grady Grace. Donald Bales, the late Donald Bales. He was the minister of music.
Yes.
Fred Hammond played the bass guitar.
Yes.
I played the organ, sang, and directed the choir. So
Look at them.
it was just a process. It was just a process of happening, and then of course I got a scholarship to go to Morehouse, and so I left Detroit behind,
Mhm.
and the rest was history because I ended up working for a small preacher back then. His name was Reverend Eddie Long. He ended
Yes.
up being Bishop Eddie Long, and I
Yes.
served there for 12 years, and then DMV called. Full and delighted to be a part of this wonderful music experience, this wonderful experience.
All right. So we were talking a little bit about your history and how you came on up and how you got here to the DMV. What is it that, as far as your, let's see, philanthropic give back, what is it that really motivates you now, currently, like in your community? What is there anything that you are actively working on or really feeling gravitated towards as far as in the community?
You know what? Have a show called the Byron Cage Show. And so we like to empower a lot of the people with the different things, information about real estate and your money and investing. And then there's also the segment where we talk to the doctors and talked about the COVID-19 shots and what is necessary. And then we talked to a doctor about mental health. Our Dr. Kidd was also on the Housewives of Potomac. He's a psychologist on there. So, that's how I wanted to empower even more than just like music. I know people love the music and I'm grateful for that, but I wanted to make sure that we go a step further and make sure that we really understand what makes our community special.
That's right.
And so that's what I wanted to really make sure I did. And so I've been just so blessed to be able to do this for so long.
I sit and I think about that.
Yeah.
I'm listening to you. And I'm like, it so transcends even the music. I mean, because everybody knows quite a few of your favorite songs. I mean, I grew up listening to quite a, and I'm in awe of even sitting here with you. But to see how you have this, it's on YouTube. You have a YouTube channel, Byron Cage Show, and just extending beyond the music. And I think it's just such a necessary thing, especially within our community as well. So, I mean, thank you for that.
No, thank you guys for your support, because you guys have been down with me. My first record came out in 1995. It was called Dwell Among Us.
Yes.
And so since then, I've done 10 complete CDs so far. And we're working on a new one, as a matter of fact.
And I'm excited. Can we talk a little bit about that one? Okay, so give me a little sneak peek about that. Just tell me a little bit about what you're working on now.
Todd Dunleavy and I wrote a song called Whatever You Say.
Yeah.
And he's the feature on that song on my album. So I'm looking so forward to the world hearing that. And we're working on completing an entire project again. And it's just amazing that people still want to hear it. People are still nice studio artists. I just feel so tremendously blessed to still be able to do it. I love doing it.
So let me just tell you something. I had a little taste, a little bit of production.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it is absolutely fantastic. It's uplifting. The music, that is your wheelhouse. That is your gift, just to watch you in that space, even for the small moment that I was there, to see your genius with how you like the music to be heard and conveyed, and how you want that soul and the spirit, the human part of life to come across in ministry and minister to people. I just think it's just fantastic.
Yeah, it is definitely a call. Something that you have to really be passionate about, or it would just be a job, but this is something passionate that the Lord has blessed me to do, over 35 years full time. And I just think that I was just so blessed to be given the gift of music, because when I originally was at Morehouse, my major was television broadcasting. I wanted to be an anchor person, and my mom said, "No, you love music, son." But I was like, "Mom, I don't want to be a school teacher." Well, she said, "You don't have to be a school teacher." She said, "You're a singer. You want to be a recording artist." And so I just think the journey, when people started knowing my name, Rupert Hankins, all these people, and I could do show with Jennifer Holiday, just all these R&B singers, because Chance the Rapper and I, we did Jimmy Fallon's show a few years back together. He wrote a song and sampled my song called Blessings.
Nice.
So my manager said, "Well, why don't you have him be live on the show?" So I just been so blessed to have the career of working with so many people that I admire from a distance. We can finally meet them up close and personal. It's really something. I went to Beyonce's first concert when she did the Days in Love tour.
Yeah.
And her music director was my music director for a tour that I had just finished. So they said, you should come out and see the show. And I said, okay, I'll come out. They took me backstage and they were singing.
They were singing it.
When I walked, they started. And I started hollering because it was Beyonce and her singers and her dancers and all.
Happy. They were happy, full of joy.
Oh, man, but I just felt so incredibly blessed that
The impact.
the impact that you have. And, the gift is not just for me.
No.
The gift that God gives us is to be able to be like, so things can go in your hand and come out of your hand at the same time. It's
Flowing.
right.
Just flowing, right?
Excellent.
So here we are, you're 61, celebrating this birthday. Hey, if you had a chance to go back to the younger Byron Cage, what more should you tell him?
I would say love God with all your heart. Do you do that? Love the music portion of it. That's wonderful. But the one thing I would say is stay married and have kids. And the only thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying it's too late necessarily, but it's just definitely one of those things that I want to make sure, we have regrets, but we still live the life.
I was just saying.
And the Lord has been kind.
Yes.
We're kind of
These are those journals that we learn even.
Yeah. Yep. Because I raised my nephew and I raised my niece as well. So when their dad left, they came to live with you and he was 10 and she was 8. So I pretty much, they were my kids and they were the energy that I just sold right back into there. And our baby girl's about to be 25.
Wow. You know what? There's something. Look, this is late together now.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
So, right? Children.
I do.
Absolutely. We've talked about your impact in this community, and you're just I have to say, you're so humble about it. I mean, when you think about everything.
Because I was a community today that I work with, you'll see why I'm humble, so humble. Because they'll rag on me in a minute.
Well, I know we are definitely honored that you're and the TasteMakers Lounge being part of this. One more thing I just want to ask you. With everything that you have done, how would you want to be remembered? Because, we have a journey in life, right? And one day this journey is going to be over. However, your legacy is here to stay. And we talked about that impact. How would you want to be remembered? What would you want to keep?
I said, I pray that when I close my eyes for the last time, people will say he was a passionate worshiper and a lover of God's people. I love God's people. It's not a chore for me. Sometimes people get on my nerves, but I still love you. You know what I'm saying? And the churches that I've served, I've just been so blessed. Like when I was minister music at St. Paul in Richmond at the same time, I was minister music at Ebenezer at the same time. And so the Lord's just kept giving pastors and Pastor Brown is amazing, and the Ebenezer Church, just giving me opportunity after opportunity to get the mic and to minister out and to worship and to impact. And I've just been getting so many out, but I just want people to remember that I was a passionate worshiper, loves God and love God's people.
Yeah, you definitely do have a heart for Christ. Yeah. I thank you so much.
Thank you
for coming on a TasteMakers Lounge. And listen, everybody, tune in definitely as we have more tastemakers, trendsetters in our secular community, gospel community. Have to continue to tune in to us as we bring more fascinating, informational people in this space and place in the DMV. Thank you so much, Minister.
Thank you. Thank you so much.